In our headlines on this Monday afternoon, May 20th, here in South Korea, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi is feared dead, according to an official speaking to Reuters on this Monday, as his helicopter has been found completely burnt in a crash this past Sunday. Meanwhile, authorities here are renewing their calls on doctors in training to return to their hospitals, adding that their prolonged walkout may hamper their chances of sitting for next year's specialist examinations. And this month, Korea marks 2 years since the opening of the former presidential office of Cheongwade, also known as the Blue House, to the public as a venue of culture. And in light of this occasion, a host of events are being held. We begin in the Middle East. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi is said to have passed away following a helicopter crash this past weekend. Our Shin Se-byuk has the latest.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and Iran's foreign minister have been confirmed dead after the helicopter they were traveling in crashed on Sunday. That is according to Iran's Mehr news agency on Monday. Rescuers located the helicopter carrying the president and 8 others in the mountainous region of northwest Iran, where they found no sign of life. In the early hours of Monday, a Turkish drone identified a heat source suspected to be the wreckage of the helicopter. The detected heat source was located near the village of Tavil in Iran, approximately 30 kilometers from the Azerbaijani border. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps also confirmed that the heat source found by the Turkish drone could be the wreckage of the helicopter carrying President Raisi. President Raisi had been in Azerbaijan for the opening of a dam with the country's president Ilham Aliyev. Both the U.S. and the EU are watching developments surrounding the crash cautiously. U.S. President Joe Biden is said to have been briefed on the incident during his visit to the state of Georgia, with U.S. officials keeping close tabs on the story. European Council President Charles Michel also said he is watching for developments carefully, but did not elaborate further. Many countries with strained relations with Tehran have remained quiet on the matter. However, countries like Saudi Arabia and Turkey have expressed support for Iran, saying they are ready to provide any help required for search operations. Shin Se-byuk, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, South Korea, Japan and China will reportedly adopt a joint statement on fighting infectious disease and boosting economic cooperation. Now, this is according to the media in neighboring Japan, citing Japanese government officials this past weekend. South Korean authorities, for their part, have yet to address the agenda of the upcoming trilateral summit, but pundits believe North Korea's aggressive weapons ambitions will be on the table. Aside from this issue, those related to people exchanges, sustainable development and science and technology are also expected to dominate the three-way discussions. The upcoming summit, tentatively scheduled for May 26th and the 27th, will be the first such interaction since the year 2019. President Yoon Suk-yeol and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak have called for international guardrails on artificial intelligence to ensure productive and safe applications. In a joint op-ed on Monday, the two leaders emphasized the need for global governance of AI to address risks while advancing innovation and inclusivity so that the technology can, quote, transform lives for the better. These remarks come ahead of the AI Seoul Summit starting tomorrow, that is Tuesday, to resume the global dialogue from the first AI Safety Summit held in England last November, when 28 governments agreed to address the risks of the fast-evolving technology. The Seoul Summit seeks a vision for multilateral AI governance to better tackle global challenges such as poverty and climate change. World leaders will hold a virtual summit on Tuesday evening Korea time, and a ministerial-level conference will take place offline on Wednesday. In local news, the government is renewing its request for the return of doctors in training to hospitals, adding that failure to do so may hinder their chances of taking next year's specialist examinations. Our Song Yu-jin explains.
The ongoing medical dispute over the government's plan to increase South Korea's medical school quota is persisting. with the government urging trainee doctors who have been absent for 3 months to return to work on Monday to fulfill the training period requirements needed to qualify for next year's specialist certification examinations. At a Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters meeting on Monday, Health Minister Cho Kyu-hong said that while individual circumstances may vary, trainee doctors who left their positions starting from February 19th must return by today, which marks 3 months of absence. However, the government added that it will be flexible for those who have extended leave or sick leave. And as they continue their efforts to convince trainee doctors to return to hospitals, the government also expressed hope that medical students would return to school. Meanwhile, the 2025 University Admission Plan, which reflects the increased number of medical school admissions, is expected to be finalized by this Friday, May 24th. As details including the selection ratio for regional talent recruitment and the ratios of regular and early admissions have not yet been made public, the finalization of the admission plan will likely prompt students to begin preparing for their exams. The Korean Council for University Education will hold a University Admissions Committee meeting this week to review and approve the 2025 University Admission Plan amendments submitted by universities nationwide. According to a council representative on Sunday, the committee needs to approve the plan this week to enable universities to announce their admission guidelines by the end of this month. Regarding the enforcement of administrative measures such as license suspensions, a presidential office spokesperson said Sunday that each case would be looked at on an individual basis, with administrative measures against the medical professionals who have left their workplace to depend on their behavioral shifts since they began their protest. The official added that the government is currently evaluating the timing, severity, and approach of these measures. 송유진, Arirang News.
In other news, July 14th will be designated as North Korean Defectors Day here in South Korea. Seoul's Interior Ministry is poised to proclaim the designation tomorrow, that is Tuesday. North Korean Defectors Day aims to better protect the rights and interests of defectors while promoting unification. It will also be the first day by South Korea dedicated to defectors from North Korea. Unification Minister Kim Young-ho has urged Pyongyang to return to dialogue, especially ahead of the monsoon season. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Minister Kim stressed that Seoul remains open to cross-border talks, regardless of the regime's reckless weapons activities. He added that communication channels need to be in place at least for humanitarian purposes and disaster response measures. Since the mid-1990s, South Korea has sent aid such as rice to North Korea during flood-related disasters. Taiwan has inaugurated Lai Ching-te as its new leader. Lai, who won the election in January, takes the reins from Tsai Ing-wen to mark the start of a historic third consecutive term for Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party. South Korea's ruling People Power Party member Jongmyo, who represents Seoul in the Parliamentary Friendship Association with Taiwan, attended the inauguration ceremony. Foreign delegates from countries including the US and Japan also attended the event on Monday. Back here in Seoul, this month we mark 2 years since the opening of the Blue House to the public as a venue of culture. And in light of this occasion, a host of events are being held as we speak. Our An Sung-jin was there.
Back to the people. South Korea's Blue House, also known as Cheongwade, is marking 2 years since it first opened its doors to the public on May 10, 2022. After President Yoon Suk-yeol moved the presidential office to Yongsan-gu District, the previous office located in Jongmyo District has been holding a range of events. As well as tours inside, a series of art, music, and media performances are taking place, which will continue throughout the summer. Special exhibitions will be on display, such as Handshakes for Freedom, which shows records of diplomatic efforts, and Children Drawing Hope, an exhibition of Ukrainian children's art. And there will be classical music, jazz, and K-pop concerts.
Among the various events that are taking place at the Blue House, this traditional performance festival offers a wide range of Korean folk music and dance performances.
Samulnori, traditional music with 4 percussion instruments, was performed on the stage. The showcase, a collaboration between 4 universities, uses the themes of joy, pleasure, sorrow, and anger to show the lives of people in the past. Another concert blends Korean folk music and jazz, and visitors could also enjoy a traditional Haohe mask performance, which is a satire on the lives of people during the Joseon dynasty. A culture expert said that such events can help bring the Blue House and the people closer.
Opening this area as a cultural complex space like this allows more communication with the people, but above all, how it's used is the most important. A historical museum that displays historical records of the Blue House can make it even more future-oriented.
The Culture Ministry and Blue House Foundation aim to brand the Blue House as a culture and art space that can be enjoyed by citizens, and such events will further help create that identity. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Also on the cultural front, Seoul's Jongmyo Shrine is hosting a special exhibition to mark the rechristening of an agency in charge of Korea's cultural heritage. Our Lee Shi-hoo has more.
Over 20,000 pieces of Lego come together to create a special build, the layout of the Jongmyo royal ancestral ritual. In this 21st century representation of one of the most significant state ceremonies from the Joseon dynasty by artist Colin Jin, hundreds of officiants, musicians, and dancers, presided by the king, perform a special ritual to honor the royal ancestors. The work is on display at a special exhibit at the Jongmyo Shrine located in central Seoul.
Starting today, the Cultural Heritage Administration has been transformed into the Korea Heritage Service. To celebrate its launch, we have prepared an exhibition hall where visitors can learn about traditional Jongmyo rituals and music, which are both recognized as world heritages, both tangible and intangible.
Jongmyo is where the kings of the Joseon dynasty performed sacrificial rites and enshrined the royal ancestral tablets of deceased kings and queens. They believe the spirits of the ancestors would enter and leave the tablets, blessing the descendants performing the rituals. Both the shrine and the rituals performed at the site are recognized as cultural heritages by the South Korean government and UNESCO. And now, for the first time ever, visitors can take a step into the pilotis-like building called Mangmyoru that housed the management office of the shrine back in history. From here, the kings of Joseon would wait, thinking of their ancestors until the Jongmyo ritual began. During the wait, they often wrote poetry in peace. From the king's seat, a magnificent view of the pond landscape to represent the land and the sky.
And it's really beautiful to see. I just entered the ritual, how they did the ritual. So it's very I learned quite a lot, and I feel that the Korean culture is very beautiful, and I feel that the history is just really amazing.
Mangmyoru will remain open to the public until the end of June, offering a peek into the royal history dating back over 600 years. Lee Shi-hoo, Arirang News.
A traditional beauty contest here in Korea based on a popular folk tale has opened its doors to foreign contestants as well. Our Iani reports.
Every year, Namwon City in Jeonbuk State hosts the Chunhyang Traditional Beauty Pageant, and the 94th Miss Chunhyang was selected this year. The pageant is inspired by the beautiful love story of Chunhyangjeon, or the tale of Chunhyang, one of the country's most cherished folk tales, which started here in Gwangalluan Garden in Namwon.
Chunhyang and Mangmyoru's love first blossomed here in Gwangalluan Garden.
The South Korean Romeo and Juliet with a happy ending, Chunhyangjeon, has since been made into more than 100 versions, but the classic love story of Chunhyang and Mangmyoru never changes.
And it all started here when Mangmyoru fell in love at first sight when he saw Chunhyang on the swing.
So what is the beauty of Chunhyang that is still celebrated today? The contestants try to show qualities encapsulated in the term Chunhyangdaum in Korean, which demonstrates a blend of physical beauty, cultural understanding, intelligence, and moral integrity. The National Chunhyang Contest made a significant shift from this year, transforming into a global Chunhyang beauty pageant, opening the door for non-Korean citizens. This year, 5 of the 32 finalists flew into Korea from China, Japan, Indonesia, Vietnam, and North America, and 2 of those finalists were non-Korean citizens.
The Korean wave, or Hallyu, holds considerable influence worldwide. So we thought, instead of sticking to tradition, why not create an event where young people from across the globe can all join?
The evaluation is relatively rigorous, taking into account demeanor and manners that reflect Korea's traditional values. Participants wear the traditional Korean clothing called hanbok during the contest, demonstrating traditional Korean beauty.
First of all, it is a fantastic experience for me to see the many contestants from all over the world. So it is important for me to see the people who understand Korean culture and language. And
to accommodate international participants, a new Global Muse Award is introduced, in addition to the existing Chunhyang titles of Jin, Son, Mi, Chong, Suk, and Hyun. For 10 days, all the finalists stayed together to practice for the contest, covering a range of talents from self-introductions to showcasing their dance skills.
I've never learned how to dance before, so it was a completely new experience, and that in itself was really challenging, but it's been a really enjoyable time.
Following the multiple rounds of evaluation, the ultimate decision is made during the final stage of assessment. Participants give their best on stage for the crown of Jin, which represents the highest honor among the 6 titles of Chunhyang.
19번 김정윤!
The title of Jin was claimed by Kim Jong-un, who is a student at Ewha Women's University.
First of all, I'm deeply honored to be chosen as the very first global Miss Chunhyang. Additionally, I was selected as Jin, wearing the heaviest crown, and I will take on the responsibility to widely promote the beauty of Namwon.
And the Global Muse Award went to Michelle Sebom-woo from the United States and Oh Sua, an overseas Korean from Indonesia.
I feel like now that the Chunhyang Festival has become a global event, it really indicates how much Korean culture is spreading, and I'm so incredibly honored to become a part of that.
I have learned so much things from here, so much things about Korean culture, about Namwon, about Chunhyang.
This year's winners will also serve as Namwon City's ambassadors for the next 3 years, taking the lead in promoting local culture, festivals, and the advance of Chunhyang values on a global scale.
The pageant is not just a celebration of beauty, but also a tribute to the timeless tale of Chunhyang's love and resilience. May the spirit of Chunhyang's enduring love continue to inspire us. 이은희, Arirang News, Namwon.
Meanwhile, on the football field in the UK, Tottenham Hotspur captain Son Heung-min ended his 2023 to 2024 English Premier League campaign with another season of double figures for goals and assists. Now, Son's 10th assist of the season came as his team beat Sheffield United 3-0 on Sunday, marking the 3rd time he has had at least 10 goals and 10 assists in a single Premier League season. Son, who found the net 17 times, also became just the 6th player in EPL history to record at least 10 goals and 10 assists in at least 3 seasons. Tottenham finished 5th in the league, meaning it will play in the Europa League next season.
Let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. We begin today in Hungary, where a collision on Saturday between a small motorboat and a cruise ship on the Danube River has led to at least 2 deaths and 5 missing. A statement by the Budapest police said on Sunday that disaster response units are searching the entire Hungarian stretch of the river. The spokesperson for the Budapest police said that 8 adults were aboard the small motorboat at the time of the collision. The incident was initially reported on late Saturday evening after a man was found with a bleeding head wound about 50 kilometers north of Budapest. Bodies of a male and a female were later found nearby, while police are still searching for the remaining 5 adults believed to have been on the motorboat. No casualties have been reported on the cruise ship. This comes 5 years after at least 27 people, the majority South Korean tourists, were killed in a collision between a river cruise ship and a smaller tourist boat. In Afghanistan, flash floods on Saturday night have killed at least 50 people in the northern part of the country. The head of the information department for the Afghanistan's northern Faryab province said on Sunday that at least 300 houses were destroyed in the latest floods. This comes after floods the day before in the country's central Gov't province led to at least 50 deaths, with officials there saying on Saturday that the floods had also killed thousands of livestock and destroyed some 2,000 homes. Last week, exceptionally heavy rains in Afghanistan's Baghlan region killed at least 315. Afghanistan is prone to natural disasters, but it has been receiving limited foreign aid since the Taliban's takeover in 2021. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk arrived on Indonesia's Bali Island on Sunday for the launch of his company's Starlink internet services. This makes Indonesia the third Southeast Asian country where Starlink will operate, following Malaysia and the Philippines. The billionaire CEO of Tesla and SpaceX arrived in a private jet and was greeted in Bali by Indonesia's coordinating Minister of Maritime and Investment, Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, before attending the Starlink launch ceremony at the Community Health Center in Denpasar with Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin. Starlink's satellite internet service will now cover the archipelago nation of 17,000 islands, home to some 270 million people. America's first black astronaut candidate, who was denied the chance to become the first African American in space 6 decades ago, finally made it into space on Sunday aboard a Blue Origin New Shepard capsule. Ed Dwight, a 90-year-old artist and former Air Force test pilot, blasted off from the West Texas launch site with 5 other crew members, a software engineer, an Indian adventurer, a French entrepreneur, a venture capitalist, and a retired accountant. Dwight also became the oldest person ever to reach space at 90 and 8 months old, beating the previous record set by Star Trek actor William Shatner. While a ticket on billionaire Jeff Bezos's New Shepard spaceflight costs about $500,000, Dwight's seat was sponsored by a non-profit organization, Space for Humanity. Sunday's launch was Blue Origin's first passenger flight since a rocket crash around 2 years ago. Kim Seong, Arirang News.
Good afternoon. The sunny and hot summer-like weather triggered the highest temperatures of the season so far in some of the southern provinces on Sunday. There will be more heat rolling into the southern regions under plenty of sunshine, but it should not be as hot as Sunday. Further south, we'll get stronger UV rays, so sun safety awareness is a must. Meanwhile, there should be cloudy skies hanging around in the upper regions with a chance of spotty rain during the day today. It's Soman today, the second summer season term, and we can tell the morning has gotten much warmer compared to last week. But due to cloudy skies in the upper regions, temperatures will not rise that much, topping out at just 23 degrees here in Seoul, nearly 5 degrees lower than yesterday. Meanwhile, Daegu and Gyeongju see a high of 30 degrees this afternoon. Sunny and warm weather returns tomorrow to the upper regions, and it should stay that way throughout the week. With that in mind, let's take a look at the international weather conditions.
Those are the headlines at this hour here in Korea. Coming up next is our daily panel session. Do stay with us. Thank you for now.